So let's just consider a situation. So there's a new startup and they have built a product which is very enterprise grade and they want to sell it to those enterprises. So what playbook should they follow? Where should they focus on? Is it events? Is it opinion leadership? Where do they start? What ideas will you give?
All of the above.
Okay.
Look, my background prior to coming to Adobe is actually in that field. I've started 9 companies launching new technology into my region. In most cases, it's been a product which has been launched somewhere else, which is coming to the EMEA region or to the UK. But sometimes it's been a product which hasn't gone to market yet. I've done both of those 8 or 9 times before coming here. And I have typically followed the same process. It's quite an old process, but it's based on a book called Crossing the Chasm. And the basic concept behind it is that when you launch something new, and particularly if you're launching something new into either an established market, or you're also establishing a new category of market. For example, we're launching a product at the moment which is the first of its kind. So we're not only recreating a new product, but we're also creating a new market. When you're doing that, your product is at the very beginning is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be quite there. It's going to have promise, and it's probably got all the foundational pieces right, but it's going to come over time. There's a roadmap of development which is going to take you to the vision that you're trying to sell. So your first customers will not be just the biggest names in the industry. You have to find your customers who have 2 things. One, they're interested in helping you to develop your software to be better. And 2, they're willing to invest in you to help you do that. So we call those early adopters. And an early adopter framework is quite hard, but once you get it, those guys can be with you for life and they can really help you develop that product. Once you've got those people on board and you keep delivering on that promise, you can then find the next stage. And this is the crossing the chasm bit, going from people who are early adopters by nature to people who are a little bit more conservative, people who actually make more informed decisions. And so that chasm, that gap, is the piece you have to cross. That's the crossing the chasm piece. And then once you get that piece right, and you do that typically by saying, I'm going to be very focused on who I sell to. So for example, I may pick the FSI industry, a certain size of business, who use a particular set of products these days if I'm taking another product, trying to take another product out of the market. And I will focus on getting 10, 20, 100, whatever the number is you've chosen, of those customers. Once I've got those, I'll then take a sideways step to an associated industry. So if I'm doing FSI, I might move into professional services. If I'm doing retail, I might move into online retail. So it's never a big jump, it's just a slight sideways jump. Because that's easier, because you can take half the learnings you've made from that first set of customers and directly apply it to the second set straight away. And then obviously you do the same again, you go sideways again. And then you get onto a phase in the book they call Main Street, where it just starts to, and then and then eventually you start to encourage the people who are true laggards, people who take their time to make a decision. But by then you're on to the next thing, and you're that product is now a standard product in the market, well established, and doing its own thing. And the key thing there as well, the people you need at the beginning, and the people you need in the middle, and the people you need at the end are completely different people. They have different skill sets, different capabilities. You need evangelists at the beginning who can really, tell a story, build a vision, encourage people to come on board at that early stage. In the middle, you need people who are a lot more process driven because there's a volume of things to do with. And at the end, you almost need order takers, people who don't have to be that envisioned and that visionary in their approach, but are very structured in terms of just processing stuff and getting it done. So yeah, that's how you do it. It's a proven track record. I've done it myself, said it 8 or 9 times, and they've all been successful to different levels, but some of them are very successful. So it's a very sort of standard approach, and I'm using it in one of my approaches now.